want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Don't label us left or right. Our Americans not looking for a war, but we came to fight. Our Americans. Somebody's gotta stand up. Stand up. Somebody's gotta do what's right. We're rising 'cause we're fed up. Got our house in order and got yours inside. I am American. That's what I am. It's what I think and what I do. I am American. That's what I am. And I bleed red, white, and blue.
Okay, we're back here. I'm trying to figure out why that's not right. Oh, give me a second here. I don't know what's going on here, but give me a second and we'll get it right here. That's not what I want. Let me get this. Let me see here. Let me do. I'm not really sure what's going on here, but let me get it right. Here we go. Alrighty. Give me a second here. I'll get it squared away here. Not really sure what's going on here. Oh, I know what's going on there. Okay. All right, we're okay now. All right, I just didn't want to hear that. All right, everybody, welcome to the Super Dave Show. We're back. I'm hearing things. There I am. Yes, I'm here. Okay. Sorry about that. I was looking. I was like, why am I seeing this? I got a studio picture here, and I'm looking at it. I was like, that's not what I'm looking like right now. It shows me before I put a hat on and comb my hair and look decent. Because when I get here in the morning, anyway. That's what it was kind of spooky. I didn't like looking at it either. So anyway, let me look at one more thing here. Wow, what the hell is that all about? Really weird. It's not showing what it is currently, so I'm just trying to figure it out. So anyway, give me 1 second here. All right, I'm here. I don't care. I'm just going to go ahead and do my thing. Welcome to the Communist States of America, where unemployment is rising. You know, I have to tell you, I wondered. I was like, wait a minute. Why are liberals not unhappy that unemployment's going up? You know, they were handed an economy kicking, coming back after a terrible pandemic. Good morning. And the economy the jobs were starting to come back, everything was starting to come back, and now it's a different story. And then I thought, wait a minute, Dave, what's wrong with you? The reason is because the Democrats want unemployment. They want the citizens of the United States to be, or the communist states, whatever it is, they want the citizens to be dependent on government. And all of a sudden to hear job training. You know, I never understood that before because the Democrats love job training. But they don't love jobs. So they like to say, what they do is they say, okay, we're going to send you to job training. There's no jobs available, but we're going to send you to training just to show you we care so much. That's what's going on. And it's really bizarre. Jobless claims jumped to 861,000, much worse than expected. No kidding. Let me see. Let's open the border up. Let's stop building the wall. Let's close the Keystone pipeline. All that. I understand. You're a tired guy. What time is it there, Sunray? Just curious. It's nice you just stop by and say that. Look, this gentleman is from Australia. but he's being honest. I love honesty. He says, "Hello, sir. Just stopping to wish you well for today's show, but I cannot stay up. I'm too tired." Trust me, I get it. You know, we got home, I guess, 9:30 last night, and oh my God, when I hit the sack, I was done. I'm one of these people. If I'm tired, I'm out. Heck, I come to think of it, we came home and sat on the couch, and I fell asleep pretty much as soon as I sat on the couch. I was so tired. So I totally understand. You are forgiven. No problem. More and more people getting used to D-Live, which is good. And I like it. I do. I kind of miss a lot of people on Facebook are lost. You know what? But it's really sad because we miss a lot of people, and they're slowly getting here. They are. Well, hello there. Okay, that was yesterday. All right. If you notice, it doesn't start up with new ones. I'm trying to figure that out. So I figured I'd go ahead and now. Am I stuck? Am I stuck on yours, or is that my computer? I got a computer that I do the show. I show the show, but unfortunately, I think I need to reinstall Windows or something like that. I don't know. And don't be telling me to go to what it is. Don't be telling me to go to Apple. Well, not Apple. You know what I mean. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to jobless claims. We have to applaud the so-called useless President Biden for screwing up the great economy. Isn't that just peachy? Here we have, one of the greatest economies of the world, and he is just in no time flat. Everything is just going to hell. And conservatives, hey, Linda, I know you're there. I got a question to ask you. When we have the Republican meeting, I didn't tell you this, or you heard me yesterday. When one of them said, "Well, we need to start reading more. There's some really good reads here and there," and I was like beside myself. I was ready to jump out and slap the guy. What do you mean read? What the hell are we waiting for? We're going to read ourselves into communism? I'm a man of action. You notice, hey, Jerry, did you hear that? A man of action. We need more men. I got women with more balls than men that are around. I mean, I really do. I watch these men. They put their mask on. And it's like, oh goodness gracious. Oh God, it's sick. It really is. So anyway, this pic that this clown president has put up there. Now I don't get it. Oh, wait a minute. No wonder. I'm not stuck. Some way or another, that did that. Okay. All right. This clown president we have is no, wait a minute. Is that supposed to do that? Okay. This clown president we have, let me get going here. The clown president we have has really picked some winners. Let's put it that way. Really picked some winners here. And wait, do you guys see me freezing up? Let me go to one little thing here. No, I shouldn't be freezing up. I should be fine. So it's that computer. It's just kind of weird. The comments stopped and the rest of it is so I don't know what to say. I'm just doing my thing here. That's all I can say. I don't even see the comments. It's just really weird. And I feel sorry for my friend Nikki. He has no clues. What? Okay. You want to know who he picked? He picked for health. Let me see. Health and Human Services. He picked someone named Dr. What's her name? Dr. Rachel Levine. No relation to Mark Levine. But Dr. Rachel Levine is, you ready for this? A transgender. Yes, Dr. Levine is a transgender. And as you know, and I know, I'm sorry. These people have mental issues. But anyway, you know what she advocates? You ready for this? You're going to sit around and wait and read? Are you kidding me? I can't get that out of my mind. I can't get it out of my mind. Anyway, she advocates, or he advocates. It's a guy dressed up as a gal. I don't care what they say. I don't know if they've had the sex change. I don't care. You were born a male. I'm going to stick with that, and that's it. Anyway, advocates sex changes for kids. You hear that? And you're going to sit back and say, well, I need to read more. Oh, no, I'm going to sit back and just wait for something else to happen. You've got to be kidding me. I for the life of me, don't understand why any intelligent human being, if there's any left, why any intelligent human being would even be entertaining anything like this. I'm just stunned by this. I'm stunned. Let me see. Somebody's got something to tell me here. What do you got to tell me here? No show? What do you mean? I'm on. I don't know what he's looking at here. Her name's Dr. Rachel Levine, though. Somebody else asked me that. So he has no clue. Let me see. Really weird. I mean, everything looks good on this end, but who knows? But I look up at my screen and things just aren't moving like they should. So I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm so fed up with some of the crap that goes on lately. You know, and this is what I for me, every time I hear a problem, I want a solution. I'm a very solution-oriented person. But I'm beginning to think I am a rare commodity. I really am. I think most people just like to complain. Am I wrong? I mean, there really are. It's like, well, you know, somebody else needs to do something. I love how I came up with that. And I'm going to brag on that one. Somebody else needs to do something. Why don't you do it? I'm doing the things that I am able to do. But why are you pointing the finger at me and a few others and say, you need to do something, you need to do that? We have a bunch of loser phonies. They call themselves Republicans. I'm not going to call them phony Republicans. I'm going to call them phonies who put an R next to their name to get elected. And we allow them to run the show. I'm just... A professor of pediatrics and psychiatry at Penn State College of Medicine, Levine has given lectures in various settings since 2012 on how to perform sex changes and gender conversion therapy on children. I mean, all I have to do is read that. And every person watching this show should be ecstatic. Ecstatic. I don't get it. Let me go to MeWe, make sure it's all working there. I'm serious. I really don't get it. I really and truly don't get it. Let me see. See if it comes up. See if my friend has lost his mind here. Well, it looks like I'm stuck, doesn't it? I'm looking on here. It looks like I'm stuck, and I don't get it. So, tell you what, I can... Okay, tell you what, if you can't hear me, I'm going to go ahead and stop it and restart it. So, are you having issues? Let me go to a couple of people here, my friends, and I went there. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and stop it and start it. It doesn't hurt when I'm on Facebook. Oh, you're good and everything's fine. You can hear me fine. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. On my end, it's really weird, but that's all right. Because I'm not getting the good. No. Okay. Trying to remember what yours is. Good now. Okay. Good no. Good now. Okay. All right. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So how many of you people are really pissed off now? And most importantly, how many of your people are actually going to do something? This is what, I mean, I will go back to my favorite two examples. One before we were all born, and that was Germany, but we read about it. You know, in the 60s and 70s, mine was in the 60s based on what I learned about Germany and how people sat back and said, well, let it happen. And they did, and you saw what happened. And then there was Venezuela. Venezuela, one of the greatest economies, not as great as ours, but greatest economies, and now it's gone to hell. And I honestly, I want to hear people. I mean, the phones are working, 314-344-0003. I want to know from people. I really do want to know. What the hell are you waiting for? I really want to know. Why are people waiting? I really and truly don't understand that. And there better be some, I guess part of it is people are just lackadaisical. To me, it's urgent. It's extremely urgent. And why in the world a lot of people don't get that, I have no idea. I'm stunned. I'm stunned that people aren't just jumping up and down, going crazy right now. I really am. Wow, that's weird. Got to reboot my old computer here. I'm stunned. I am absolutely stunned that people just aren't freaking out and say, man, what are we waiting for? But, let's wait till the next meeting. Let's do this. I don't want to panic, but if we have this lackadaisical attitude, we're toast. We're done. We are done. Now, do you think I'm overdoing it here? You think really, do you think I'm overdoing it? You got a woman here who's going to run a department who is telling the people in her classes, another pathetic teacher, that kids ought to have sex changes. Can you imagine how many beautiful babes that were tomboys when they were younger would be boys right now? I mean, oh my God. I'm just, let me see. Puberty blockers can be life-saving drugs for trans teens. When transgender youths have access to puberty blockers, their chances of suicide and mental health. Oh, good God. How about, let's use a pill. There you go. A pill always solves everything, doesn't it? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now people better understand why I get so frustrated, because I really do. Sometimes I just get so frustrated and I just want to quit. And I'm not going to, so don't worry about that. I'm not a quitter. But the urgency isn't there. And when you have to, when you've got all these things going on, our country is going down faster in the last month than it's ever gone down. Ever. And here we are, sitting by, wanting to read about it? What the hell's it going to take? I mean, I am just... Oh, I'm losing it. I feel like I'm losing it sometimes because when I don't see the urgency... Sorry there, I got to do this. when I don't see the urgency, it just baffles me. Solutions are how we fix things, but unfortunately, we don't have solutions, and that's what drives me nuts. Because when I see that the people that are involved, well, thank you, I appreciate that. Not overdoing it. Why? I mean, really, people should be going, this is going crazy. When I talked to this pastor on Monday, it was interesting because I made it look. Let me tell you right now, I am not one to hold back. I guess you guys know that by now. But if I talk to the pastors out there of the Lutheran and Catholic and all the churches out there, why aren't they going after these liberal politicians that want to kill babies and the rest of it? But when I hear someone say they don't want to lose their tax status, I have no respect for them whatsoever. Well, the Supreme Court won't stand. Well, you know what, though? You're right. Supreme Court won't stand up. But, and I'm not giving anybody a break here because Amy Barrett bowed out. Kavanaugh was one. Was it Kavanaugh was one that sided with the liberals? Some of these people are afraid of what the left will do. And this is what I go back to all the time. If we do something to these people, and I'm saying, look what happened to, he's one of the few, Pastor Locke is. He's one of the few, here, when Texas had its issue, and Ted Cruz said, I'm taking my family to Cancun. He got chastised. You notice he only gets chastised. I mean, it was big news. But when Nancy Pelosi did her thing, the leftist media, which we know we all hate, they made excuses. Well, it was a mistake, and that's what they come up with. And the left were like, oh, that's okay. Now, I've got to tell you something. One of the problems the right has is really giving a damn about what the left says. I don't care what they say. They're nuts. Why would you put 1 ounce of anything in anything they say? I think Cruz has said, look, I feel bad for people. This is what I did. What am I going to do? Go out there and start cranking up some electricity for other people? There's nothing I could do. The people who are in charge are going to do it. What's he going to do? That's the whole point. But, they've learned. This is the problem you have. They've learned to fall in place. And I like Ted Cruz. I've never been the big Ted Cruz fan. A lot of people have been because I think he plays the game a little bit too. But, if you notice when they're there for a while, that's what they do. And for me, I really don't get it. I just don't. And you're right, Pastor Locke in Tennessee does. But you don't find very many. I don't. Alan, if you're watching, I have 2 questions. Number 1, what was that pastor's name that was at the meeting, the Republican meeting? He looked familiar. I didn't know him. Because honestly, I want to know what they think when I say that. When I say, well, you're going to lose your tax status. Here's one for you. These are the school districts, and this is something that all the people involved that are running for public office, for school board, need to think about too. Whenever you accept federal money, it has strings attached. And because of the fact it has strings, it's actually detrimental to your own school system. There's certain things you have to do and the rest of it. And I have said for years, the hell with it. It's not that much money. But damn near every school district says, no, we got to have that money. We got to fall in place. And we continue to do what the left says. Now, as we've said before, the left owns the schools because we've allowed it to happen. So what point are we finally going to say the left does not own the schools anymore? At what point? When we stop taking the money? We stop taking the federal money. Who cares? Well, you don't understand. You know what? I'd rather have a grass football field than have teachers teaching transgender or this other garbage that has nothing to do with school to begin with. If you remember, when we were growing up, the big thing was, well, we need to teach our kids sex education. Not me. I'm just telling you that's what was going on. I think we're better off learning it in the streets. You may think I'm crazy. I really do. I think we were better off learning about sex education in the streets because, frankly, what's going on now is disgusting. The things that go on right now are embarrassing as an American. I don't know. I really don't know. So we got now I'm going to go back to what I said before. It's all about, and I'll go through a few other things here too. I'm trying to check a couple things out here. We have a leftist society right now. Let's face it, we lost. We didn't lose the election, but we lost the election. Look, you know what it ends up being? We can bitch and moan about losing the election all we want, but we better figure out some solutions to this. When I hear somebody want to give up, I want to scream. That would be like saying in World War II that Germany's got to come over and take over our country. Let's just all sit back and do nothing. I'm dead serious. Let's sit back and do nothing. Because that's pretty much what we're asking people to do. I can't do that. I think if we had, and you know how it goes, if we had Americans that actually stood up and became active and did things and contributed to the causes and all that stuff, we wouldn't be in this place. We wouldn't. But we are. And that's the problem we have. So I have no idea what's going on there. I am so fed up with Americans who don't want to do anything, who just want to sit back and throw in the towel and say we're done. That's what Americans have done. And frankly, when we do that, we actually deserve everything coming our way. We really do. And I'm sorry. I just don't want. I just don't. I don't need that. I don't want it. Whatever. I don't know. I really sometimes I really and truly don't know how to wake people. I think I do, and I do a pretty good job. I try, but a lot of people I don't know. And the thing is. I've heard this a million times. Well, you need to do it this way. You need to, and I've tried. I have really tried many ways. I've tried being nice, and that's hard for me. But honestly, I've tried being nice, but it doesn't seem to work. Being nice, it doesn't work, and when I call people out, they don't like it. Oh, you're attacking me. They don't care what's going on. We can teach our kids transgender and how anal sex. We can teach all this stuff in the schools, but we're not going to do anything about it. Well, if we don't do anything about it, that's exactly what's going to happen. It is absolutely crazy what's going on today. So I just, Linda, should I give up? Wendy, should I give up? Poor Wendy, she's got to live with this. Because I do get frustrated. I really do get frustrated because it's like, why aren't people waking up? What the hell is it going to take? And I really see the future. It sounds really nutso, But I get to a point, it's like, I don't care if I die. Well, I don't want to die. But it's like, if I died, at least I don't have to put up with all this pathetic stuff, because I get so frustrated watching people do nothing. It's so disturbing for me, and I really don't do well with it. I really don't. We got jobless claims going up. We got some Biden witch that's teaching transgender, and we sit back and we go, "Hey, who's playing hockey tonight?" Yeah, you're right, poor Wendy. Yeah, we have 3 people running. And hey, Linda, not one of those people came from the Republican Club. Not one of those people came from Central Committee. It came from us. And that's why that's why we make a difference. And we have told these people, we're going to help you in every way we can, and we do. But unfortunately, all the other, and I'm not blaming Alan here. Alan's trying to change what's going on. God bless him. But it's really frustrating when you've got all these people out there and they all want to say, I'm a Republican. I'm a proud Republican. And I've been to the meetings where they bitch and moan about Blunt sometimes, but guess what? Do you hear one of them censure them? Hell no. We have to stick with him because he's the only Republican we got there. Really? You're calling that man a Republican why? Because he got R next to his name? I do not call Roy Blunt a Republican. I just don't. And we are helping them. See, that's just it. We're helping them. We're helping them. They got the applause. Way to go. Okay, go ahead. That's what it amounts to. My friend Keith Missy, he's running for health board, and he's a little far away, but we want to help him. If you're in Perry County or anywhere down there, and I'll be glad to go down to help him any way I can. I will, because I want so much to fix our country, but I can't do it alone. Nobody can do it alone, and when there's so few people that do it, that's what's really frustrating. When you got to struggle, it's like with our meetings. The meetings should have 5 times as many people at least. But and I'm not knocking the people that have legitimate excuses or whatever, but there's people that we've had meetings, and every meeting there's something going on. It's like, oh, okay, well, I can't go this time, I can't go that time. Okay, then obviously, and I'm not trying to be mean here, I'm really not. But obviously it's not that important. I have to be there every meeting, and I want to be there. It all depends on how important it is. It really does. And when it's really and truly not that important, then it's a priority. It really is. So if the under 1 million job claims we have doesn't bother you, oh well. Look at all the people who are making good money by the jobs that were produced. Oh, by the way, I did see a jobs fair. You ready for this? I did see a jobs fair by the left. Guess what they're for? Government jobs. Yes, the local and state government and federal governments are looking for people. That's because that's how, and this is how Democrats do it. Let's go ahead and have more government. We'll give those people's jobs, and then lesser and lesser people are making money off the private industries, and they can pay for everybody else. That's what happens. Goodness gracious. I'm beside myself this morning because I honestly and truly don't understand, and I really, they say I'm intelligent, but apparently I'm not, because I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't know. I really truly don't know what it's going to take, and that's what bothers me the most. That's what really bothers me the most. What the hell is it going to take? But We'll see. Sorry, I'm doing 10 things at once here. What was it yesterday I saw? Let me find this real quick. Don't mean to bore you this morning. It's Wednesday. I saw where there was a young man, and I'll never do this again, but I don't want to jump on anything that I don't know the answers to. But supposedly a police officer had his knee on his neck, and by the way, that doesn't necessarily kill somebody, but had his knee on his neck, and supposedly he died from that. But you know what? They said that about George Floyd. I mean, it looked bad, but it really wasn't as bad as they said it was. It really wasn't. And so, we make these accusations and make assumptions. Assumptions are the biggest thing we make, and we have no, we have nothing really to go by. We really don't. So I'll tell you, why don't you guys give me some ideas? Maybe give me some, and by the way, when you give me ideas, how about don't give me ideas? How about spread your ideas of what we can do and what you're willing to do? That'll bring nobody here. Because one of the problems we have, and it's never stopped. One of the problems we have is there we go. No liberal tears as Biden puts kids in cages at southern border. Where the hell's the leftist media now? They've got these pictures of these people that are coming in, and they're putting them in cages, but nothing. Entire preventable humanitarian tragedy is occurring in our southern border. Unaccompanied migrant children are being separated from their families and held in cages. By the way, before I get into this, I'm watching the news this morning. I do that sometimes to see how bad they are. And as many people know, yesterday, Tiger Woods had a horrible accident. Now, Tiger Woods was asked before the accident, of course, about is he going to knock President Trump? And Tiger Woods and President Trump are friends. And he continually said, no, I'm not going to do that. He goes, we've gotten along well. And he left today. He says, I don't like to do political things. So I started out with that for a reason. So on the news, they had quotes from people who had comments about Tiger Woods, okay? All the quotes, one of them was by Obama. I can't remember who the other ones were. All the quotes were from black people. Why didn't they get a quote from President Trump, who happened to be a friend of Tiger Woods? Well, we know the answer. If you don't notice those things, then you aren't paying attention to the brainwashing that we get by the media every single day. As I always do, I stray here. Have you noticed when you watch the commercials, you hardly see any white males in the commercials? In fact, most of the people in the commercials are black, Hispanic, and women. And not even a lot of white women. So if I think the black population is 18%? Now, if I'm not mistaken, all the time on the left, I mean, by the black people, by the liberal black people, because the other ones don't care. They don't care. It's nothing to be concerned about. But the liberal black people, they always want a percentage. Well, we're not in charge of this. We're not in charge of that. Right now, the big cities, you want to play that game? You racist black people? You want to play that game? All right, since 18% of the population in the United States is black, How about 18% of the cities, the major cities in the United States, should be run by black? Right now, it's a huge majority of black people that run these cities. You want to play that game? How about 18% of the people, of the football players, the NFL, National Felons League, be white? I mean, be black and the other be white. Go ahead, break those percentages up. You notice that? How about we have a Miss White America? Dave, you can't say that. Oh, it's 13%? How about we have a Miss White America? How about donating to the United White College Fund? We could go on and on with this stuff. But you know what? We don't talk about common sense because most of us don't really give a damn. I got to see this. My friend Charlie said he found this at their parents'. Oh my God! I hope I can read this without breaking up, because this is, I give a damn, people. I care. In German, this was in, and I'll go to this. I'm going to read it and I'll tell you where it came from. The heading is "I didn't speak up." In Germany, the Nazis first came for the communists. And I didn't speak up because I wasn't a communist. Then came for the Jews, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a Jew. Then they came for the trade unions, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a trade unionist. Then they came for the Catholics, and I didn't speak up because I was a Protestant. Then they came for me, and by that time, there was no one left to speak for me. That was found in Charlie's mother's house after she passed. Her grandparents came from Germany. Every Republican, I think one of the reasons, hey, Alan, I wonder how you felt the other day at the Republican Club when I said every person in this room should be ashamed and embarrassed for our inaction. For us not doing anything with the school boards, for us not putting our names on the ballots, for us waiting for somebody else to do something. I just wonder. I really just wonder. Oh, it does. It does. This stuff breaks my heart. If this doesn't hit you in your gut and you aren't hurting, what the hell's wrong with you? You watch, hey, I got my flag. I said, we go to these meetings. Someone says, and I got to tell you, I don't get into some of the traditions like some people. I do like some of them, whatever. But, if I'm at a Republican meeting, in fact, maybe I'll do this at the next meeting. I would love to do a prayer, and I would love to do the Pledge of Allegiance, but until people get off their asses and do something, we're not doing it because you people don't really mean it. You go through the motions. How's that one? That's exactly how I feel. Well, we didn't do Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance. I love the Pledge of Allegiance. Why are we doing it? Well, this is tradition. You want to talk about the traditions that was just sent to me? By the way, some of the Republicans in the Republican Club, and Linda, you know that, and I don't blame some of the people, are there for their own benefit. And you know who I'm talking about. We have many people involved in the Republican Party. You notice I didn't say they're Republicans. In the Republican Party. Because as far as I'm concerned, they don't give a damn what party they're in as long as they benefit. That's what it amounts to. But since we're in Jefferson County, all they care about is getting what they want. I get business from this. I get money from this. I get to go to the Republican conventions because I am Derek Good. I don't care who he is. They actually think I'm supposed to respect these jackasses. I couldn't care less about whore politicians. I couldn't care less about whores that are using the Republican Party for their own benefit. That's not what it's all about. Someone tell me what the hell I get out of being a Republican, except for the fact I truly believe in everything I'm saying. I want to hear these clowns get up here and say the things I say. You know, the one thing I have to admit, I sat by silent. And this is why I try to be fair with everybody that's watching the show right now. I sat by silent because I really didn't know. I looked at these people and said, well, they've been here for a while. They're used to it. And then one day I started speaking up. And I spoke more, and I spoke more, and I spoke more. And just like I told this pastor, this is my ministry. And I don't fill the church up very well because most of the people that come are not hypocrites. There's some there, believe me, they're there. And there's plants. Please always know that. There's going to be a plant there. I don't really care. Because hopefully they'll understand what we're trying to do. We're trying to get people to wake up and become part of it. That's what we're trying to do. The Central Committees, and I was giving Justin Hill grief about this last month. The Central Committees for the Republican Party generally are a complete joke. And Ronnie, I don't know if you're listening or not, but they're generally a complete joke. They are a complete joke because they really don't do anything. All they do is say, tell us what to do. We'll make sure that we support every Republican. I will tell you right now, and Linda, I gave you a lot of credit for what you said last year. When you stood in for, I guess it was last year. Oh, no, it was longer ago than that, I guess, yeah. When you sat in for Connie, and you said, I'm not going to support Waller. He sued the county. He did all that stuff. What the hell's wrong with these people? I'm not going to support him, and I didn't either. But that's what the parties do. Well, we need to support them because they're Republican. No, you know what they should have done, Linda? What they should have done is said, we're not supporting. How can we, in good conscience, that eliminates most of them anyway. How can we, in good conscience, support somebody who's suing us? How can we do that? But they didn't do that. How do you support people who are not doing the job they're sent there to do? I can't do it. Come and fix it. You know, I use my own profession, my appliance repair profession, before I became nuts like this. You don't want someone at your house who doesn't know what the hell he's doing, who doesn't care if he fixes it, that all he wants is your money and for you to keep calling him back. It's no different. It's no different. Good gracious. You know, Charlie's one of the few that, I mean, well, there are a bunch of us who do get it. Don't get me wrong. Charlie and some of the other people, the ones that really get it. Well, wait a minute, Carl. Caller wasn't supported, so no one ran for the office. My son ran for the office, but the establishment was against him because they knew. See, they knew this is what the establishment does in Jefferson County. Make no mistake about it. They knew that Waller would make sure that he would play with the votes, and make no mistake about it. I'm calling him out. I don't really care. Let me in that damn office. We'll figure it out. Let me have those memory cards. They knew that they supported him, that they could continue their power in Jefferson County. They knew that, and that's why they supported him. Let me tell you right now, when my son ran for that office, my son is one of the most honest people walking the planet. He really is. And has more integrity than all those people combined. It's a damn shame that the establishment Republicans Don't even give a damn. This is why I keep telling people the establishment phonies. Let's call them what they are. It's a damn shame the establishment phonies said we prefer our phony way of doing things instead of having someone with integrity. You still have his sign. Well, I don't know if he's running next year. I think he is. He's trying to do what he can. I know he has the Pachyderm Club that he runs. Because he cares. You see, that's just it. He cares about it. And for those of you out there that don't make the meetings, there's things that we do too. And this is something I think people better understand. And I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm really not. But when you make the meetings, you're with other like-minded people, and it grows because they say, "Wow, I got to be honest with you. I wasn't happy Sunday." Well, we had less people than we did at the first meeting. And some of the people said, they want me to do something. I'm not going to do anything. It's what happens. So, I guess for me, until real Republicans, get serious, nothing's going to change. So let's go with what's going to happen here. All right. Our schools have already been taken over. So since Republicans are going to sit on their asses and do nothing, all the Republican candidates that we have are going to lose because we can't even get Republicans to show up at the school board meetings. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if the established Republicans stay home. Let me explain to you who shows up at school board elections. Teachers, leftists. They show up because they say, this is what they do. Now, this is where they're more organized. And actually, this is where they have more, I'm looking for the word here. This is where they have more drive to get who they want in there. They want leftist schools. They want schools they want the kids to wear masks. They don't care about any of that stuff. It's all about politics for them. It's all about what they want. They want your kids, if you have a tomboy for a daughter, get used to it. It was 2 hours. I'm not trying to be hard. I'm really not. It's just that if we don't, if things happen to me too. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm really not. But things happen to all of us. But it's like, hey, look, this is, it's. Let me read this again. Because Charlie, if you don't mind, I'm going to put. Well, I can't put it on my web. I can put it on the website. But I'm going to read this one more time because I think people really don't understand what this says. In Germany, the Nazis first came for the communists. And I didn't speak up because I wasn't a communist. Then they came for the Jews, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a Jew. Then they came for the trade unions, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a trade unionist. Then they came for the Catholics, and I didn't speak up because I'm a Protestant. I don't need to read it again because that's what it amounts to. And the very people that at that meeting on Monday, they show up, but who cares? They don't do anything. Yes, they do. The few that show up, they have their paid positions. I'm wondering why some of these people in office, and I'm going to call some of them out, why aren't they there? I have supported them. Bob Boyer, where the hell are you? Mark Paul, where are you? Where are some of you people? You say you give a damn, but, what's going on here? Where are those people? Why don't we just wait? You're right, Linda. Parents don't raise a ruckus when their kids are taught horrendous things. They go, that's wrong. We need to do something. Yeah, let me interpret what they say. They go, that's wrong. Somebody needs to do something. But let me add the words they forgot to answer. Somebody else needs to do something. Or, I'm just pissed today, but I won't pay attention until somebody points out to me something else. Do you know how many kids at school aren't being questioned by their parents on what they're learning? Dead serious? It's amazing to me. It really is. Why is it that hard for people to get their subjects, get their thoughts about what's going on with their kids? They just don't know. And that's where I am lost. I am totally lost. I don't get it. Anyway, I need to take a break in a little bit here. I will. I got a great story for you with my son. When my son was in high school, it was back in the 90s. He went to Lutheran South his first year. I couldn't afford to send him to Lutheran South. It was very expensive. So I sent him to Eureka High School. And this was the difference. And I wish I could afford a Lutheran South more at the time. But I was a single dad. So he goes to Eureka. Now, in his freshman year at Lutheran South, he was a star player. I don't think they lost a game. In fact, I remember my son one time saying, I've never, why don't they let other people play? And I said, because they let the best people play. That's what they're supposed to do. And Jeremy was a very good soccer player. He was a fullback. So he ends up going to Eureka High School. He sits on the bench. Well, during that time, some of the things that happened that are totally different about public schools, and this is why we need to take over. When they had a parent-teaching conference, I was there. I knew all his teachers. I was a single parent. I went there. I did what I was supposed to do, unlike other people. I'll leave it at that. So I knew all these people, and I said, if there's a problem with my son, please let me know. And I think it was sophomore, junior year. I'm trying to remember what year it was, but one of those years. It may have been junior. I'm not really sure. But anyway, my son worked at Burger King. And as you know, sometimes the hours are late. So when he was in class sometimes, I didn't know this, but I'll go a little farther with that in a second. But I didn't know this, but he gets his first report card. And it's 4 Fs, a D, and an A. Well, obviously, I'm not a happy camper. Here I am, Dad, and I'm like, what the hell happened? But I was like, and I tried my best to keep track of it, but I don't know what's going on. So I had 4 phone calls I made to 5 phone calls to all the teachers with the 4 Fs and a D minus. One teacher called me back. Only one. And it was his D minus. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm going to tell you what happened, and you tell me if you thought it was nuts. He calls me back and says, Mr. Day, you called about Jeremy, and I said, yeah, I'm really freaking out here. My son got a D minus in your class. We talked, and I said, if there's problems, let me know. He says, well, your son's been falling asleep in class. I said, falling asleep in class? And I said, why didn't you tell me? He goes, I thought you knew. And I was like stunned, and I go, how in the hell would I know if he fell asleep in class? I'm not in your class. You are. Your job, and you know me, I'm pretty shy. Your job is to let me know there's a problem. You didn't do that. But I will come in here for one thing. You're the only damn teacher that's called me. I wasn't happy. So I took it upon myself. Now I'm about solutions. And I thought, I gotta fix this. And apparently the schools aren't helping me. And believe me, nothing's changed. So I thought, what am I going to do? So I got the newspaper out. This is back when we got the newspaper. I got the newspaper out, and we sat down, and I said, son, I opened up the help wanted ads. I thought, I got to hit them hard. I said, I got the help wanted ads here. And I started looking, and I said, we need to find you a job. He said, well, I'm already working at Burger King. I said, no, you're going to quit school since you basically have anyway. And I went in there, and I said, let me see. Let's find what you qualify for. Here's one for janitor. You can probably qualify for that one. And I went through some really low-paying jobs and ones that people really don't want to get. And he stops. Whoa, Dad! I don't want to quit school. And I said, you already did. Now, just so you know, my goal wasn't to get him to quit school. My goal was to wake his happy ass up, and I did. And he said, I don't want to quit school. I promise I'll do better. And guess what? In the next semester, the next quarter, he had the most improved grade point average because I figured out how to wake him up. Now, I heard the news, and I come up with a solution, and my solution worked. But it makes me wonder, we have a country that's being taken over by China. And you tell me. I brought up the soccer thing because he went to play soccer there his sophomore year. My son had never not started, and he was put on the bench. And I know that teachers aren't necessarily... I know teachers do it for the money. So after a few games I'm watching my son on the bench, never saw him on the bench in my life, and the team was losing, and the team he was on freshman year they were beating everybody, and they were good. They were one of the best team in the league, and he was a constant starter. So I couldn't understand it. I never forget the one game when they were losing 5-0, and the coach put the second string in. That's what he called them, second string, whatever. And they came back. The best players were on the bench. They came back and tied it 5-5. And I thought, yes. And what does this dumbass teacher do? Takes them out, and they lose the game like 9-5. He puts the original starters in. They got kicked, and it was over. I was devastated. I was livid. Years later, I was talking to a neighbor of mine, and we were talking about lousy coaches. And we were talking, and they're bringing this up for a reason, because just because somebody's there doesn't mean they're the best. We were talking about lousy coaches. And he would tell me about his son being on a water polo team and how the coach was so bad and all this. And come to find out, it was the exact same coach. The coach was useless. This is a teacher who said, I'll go and put my name on the bottom line. I'll be the soccer coach. He obviously knew what the hell he was doing. And guess what? If they don't know what they're doing with soccer and some of the other ones, what else don't they know about? We are allowing our children, in fact, I look, if you go on Facebook and look up some of the comments that people make, I go in the comments section and I go in there to see who these people are and what they are. And some of the most pathetic, disgusting comments are by lesbian girls. I mean, it's just amazing, and you see them. It just is stuff that I just can't believe. The words that come out of these teenagers' mouths sometimes, especially the girls, is amazing. And not just them. Look, if I'm talking to a friend, and look, I got some friends and they got a mouth on them, and I do too sometimes. We all know that. But what's going on today, what they're teaching in the schools is disgusting. And right now, everybody listening to the show should be devastated, saying we have to do everything we can, instead of getting an applause. Oh, good luck. Good luck. Let us know how it works out. By the way, I will be announcing next week that we're going to have a get together with people who are going to help Linda. They're going to help these people who are running for office. That's the whole point of Real Republicans, that when they run for office, that we have qualified people in there who have run for office that knows campaigning, knows all this stuff. That's what we're going to have. And that's what it takes. Because that's what the left has. And it costs money. Do you think these people should be spending all their all their income on it, and then you want the new school board, but you want to sit back with your hand in your pocket and say, "Good luck to you. I'll vote for you if I bother to show up that day." I don't. So, all right, I'm going to take a break before I blow my stack. Let's I'm going to play this, and it's my favorite. You know which one's my favorite? Lee Greenwood. You know what? Maybe not. I'm going to do something else today. And the reason is because I want people to pay attention instead of just say, "Oh, that's really cool." I want people to pay attention to this because it meant something back in the 50s. And I think a lot of you know what I'm going to play here. It meant something back in the 50s. Until we really get serious here, my friends, nothing's going to change. So if this really does matter to you, then please tell me. All right, let me go back here real quick. And, all right, we'll be back in a few. Super Dave has to take a break. I'll be right back.
I've been listening to you boys and girls recite the Pledge of Allegiance all semester, and it seems as though it's becoming monotonous to you. If I may I recite it and try to explain to you the meaning of each word. I, me, an individual, a committee of one, pledge, dedicate all of my worldly goods to give without self-pity. Allegiance, my love and my devotion to the flag, our standard, Old Glory, a symbol of freedom. Wherever she waves, there's respect, because your loyalty has given her a dignity that shouts, freedom is everybody's job. United, that means that we have all come together. States, individual communities that have united into 48 great states. 48 individual communities with pride and dignity and purpose. All divided with imaginary boundaries, yet united to a common purpose. And that's love for country. And to the Republic, a state in which sovereign power is invested in representatives chosen by the people to govern. And government is the people, and it's from the people to the leaders, not from the leaders to the people, for which it stands. One nation, meaning so blessed by God, indivisible, incapable of being divided, with liberty, which is freedom, the right of power to live one's own life without threats, fear, or some sort of retaliation. And justice, the principle or qualities of dealing fairly with others. For all, which means, boys and girls, it's as much your country as it is mine. And now, boys and girls, let me hear you recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Since I was a small boy, 2 states have been added to our country, and 2 words have been added to the Pledge of Allegiance: under God. Wouldn't it be a pity if someone said that is a prayer and that would be eliminated from schools too?
Alrighty. That doesn't get you. I don't know what does. Alrighty, we're back here, Super Dave Show. Maybe I ought to do that. What do you think? Maybe Hey, there you go, little music. All right, maybe I ought to do that at the next meeting. What do you think, Linda? What do you think, people? Think we ought to do that at the next meeting? See what it means? Because, I told you, one of the reasons I don't like going through that is because it doesn't mean anything to most people. It's like, I pledge allegiance. I did my thing. I did it. I wish people, here's one for you. I wish people were as pissed off about what's going on with our country, about what's going on, as they are about professional athletes kneeling. If you're that pissed off, do something. Oh, I won't go to. I'm glad you won't go to a game. That's good. But what are you doing to change those things? Honestly, what are you doing? Do what? What do you want me to do at the next meeting, Elizabeth? And my friend says, schools on the whole do not teach that very duty to prove themselves worthy of where. You know, Ronnie, I think you probably agree with me. I think most Americans today, because we're sitting back doing nothing, do not deserve the freedoms that they say they deserve. Because if you don't work for those deserves, look, you spent your life, most of your life, doing everything you can for your country. You've done that, and I applaud you so much, my friend. And there's so many others that have. Now, just because, now, let's be fair here. When you served your country, you did it voluntarily, and you continued. You made it. That's what you did. You know what? That's a good idea. You know what? I have to have somebody help me with that. I'll figure something out, because if I had you know what? I'll figure something out, because if I had the computer up there closer to me, then I could go ahead and make the changes and deal with it, which is probably better anyway. But that's probably what we need to do, because after it's over, you know what, Elizabeth? I can actually do what I do here and say, how many people really take this serious? I mean, you sit there and you want to pray, but, and the other day, and I'll mention this again, the other day I got into it with somebody because they say, we just all need to pray. Sounds good. Then what? What do you do then? People use God as an excuse not to do anything. And I don't bring religion into here for a reason, because I get really irritated with that. I get irritated with it because people they use an excuse, and that's all they do. Well, I prayed. I did my thing. And I've just had instances that just had a devastating effect on me as a human being in our country. And it just baffles me that people use God as an excuse. You know what? I'm gonna do that next meeting. I'm gonna start with the pledge. I'll at least start with the pledge. But when I start out, I'm going to. In fact, I got an idea. What do you guys think of this? I'll start out with the pledge. No, with Red Skelton. And we're obviously not going to be able to see it, but we don't need to. But I want everybody to see this. I want everybody to hear this. That's a great idea, Elizabeth. And after they do it, then I'll say, are we really going to put our minds to this? Or are we just going to go through the motions? Because I am not a great hypocrite. When people sing the national anthem, they say things, and it's like, and you say, and they go through all that stuff. I'm one of those people when a national anthem, I have tears in my eyes. This is my country. I say the Pledge of Allegiance. I really do. I feel in my heart everything. Well, you're right. We don't need to see it. We can hear it. It's really a great thing. But we need to do it, because I really don't think that people actually feel this yet. And maybe that's why. It's maybe we can have a different kind of born again. A born-again patriot. How about that? or if nothing, a born patriot. Because I don't think, I really don't think, in fact, you know what? This is what we need to do. In our next meeting, we need, in fact, I will put something together. We need to show what a patriot really is all about and not what they're going through. Because if you think because you sing there and open your mouth and act like you're singing the national anthem or saying that, I just, if that's all you're doing, you need something. You need a kick in the whatever. Oh goodness! I mean, really, it's just too much. It just is. So, pardon me if I seem to be down. I'm not down. I think lately I'm more pissed at the shows because of the fact that we really don't have the dedication that I think is necessary in our country, and that for me is so bothersome. It really is bothersome. I really don't understand why we don't have the dedication. And when we don't, it's just like, why is it so hard to love your country? I mean, not just say it. It's like anything else. You could say I love you to somebody, but do you really? I just love you. It's like I love you too, and it's like, oh. And then you walk away and you go, what a creep. Whatever. People do that all the time. You can wear my gun on the outside. What are you going to do? Point at people that don't feel it? That don't really feel it in their hearts? But, it's about solutions. It really is. I kind of think part of the meeting here should always be about solutions. And in fact, maybe we won't have a guest next time. Maybe people can come up and ask questions. We'll do it on YouTube the right way, on Facebook or whatever the right way this time, because I didn't do a couple things, so the meeting really wasn't out there like I wanted to be. So that's my fault. It's a learning experience. I'm not used to doing remotes like that with this, but as time goes on, it'll get easier, because what I'll do after the last meeting, I thought, all right, I got to have all my stuff together, and I may have to get a couple other things, and what I'll do is I'll make sure I mark everything so I'm not trying to remember what goes where, and that's it. So that's why. I may go ahead and do a couple shows from my other studio, I call it, and it's that way it'd be a little bit different. Maybe even do something special. That's all. That's a great one, Charlie. Charlie says, Noah built the ark. What would happen if he would have just sat there and prayed? I think people understand what I'm saying. Well, that's a good idea. Actually, Linda, that's a good. We'll start out with that, and we'll have a work session, things that we can do. That's a great idea. We'll have a short meeting. I'm going to give. I think next time. Excuse me. I think next time, because of I want us to have more people there next time than ever. I really do. By the way, is 4 or 4:30 on a Saturday too late? I actually like that time myself, because then I could just hang out and do other fun things while we're there. But is that too late? I want to find out from people. We're not going to please everybody. I want you to know that right now. We're not going to please everybody. But some people have said we do stuff in the daytime. That's it, and that's fine. I want people to let me know what you think about the times. Wendy, if you're listening, give me those times again that we have, because I do my best to try to work with other people, and we want as many people to show up as we can. I know sometimes Sunday was bad or whatever, but anyway, I do ask. Like I said, we can't ever make it. Carl is the wannabe comedian all the time. But that's what we need to do. Well, let me. You know what, Linda? I got a question to ask you. If we have let me see. If we have our next meeting, when we have our next meeting, maybe we should have the teach people, have everybody do it, get involved in actually maybe Renee can get up and I mean, kind of explain what we're doing there, and have instead of just have a few people, we'll have everybody help in one way or the other, and we can divide into groups. That's something we can talk about. Let's do that, because there is something in 2 weeks that we or just do that. We'll figure something else out. I don't know. Look, we're still in the growing stage, so ideas are wonderful. I do my best, but other people come with ideas, and it's great. I like the idea so far about doing the Red Skelton thing. I like the idea of we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. What I am doing though, and I'm going to make this very stringent, is, and if people take it the wrong way, stay home. I don't care. We are not there for a sermon, and sometimes some of the religious people want to get up there and spend 5-10 minutes and do a sermon. That's not going to happen. I'm going to stop you, and if you don't like it, then don't show up or don't come. It's not going to happen. That's not what we're about. And that's what. And if that bothers some people, then this may not be it, because we're there to get people elected. You can go to church the next day and go through it, whatever. But, you're not going to go there because, look, there's other people of different beliefs, whatever. And, it could be, and that's why I like the idea of God, but that's as far as it goes. We don't need all the rest of it. I just don't think it. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't. Hey, thank you. I'm glad you agree with that, because some people, they get up there. Let me tell you something. After the meeting last time, all of a sudden I get, oh, well, we need to do this, and it's like, and I will tell anybody that is trying to tell me what we need, you have a lot more impact when you do more than just tell me what we need. Either put your money where your mouth is, or your time where your mouth is, but don't just sit back and say, I'm the idea person. I have all the ideas, and so I'm going to tell everybody what to do. That's not going to happen. I run the meeting. And I run the meeting as I see fit. If people don't like it, vote me out. I really don't care. Look, anyone else that wants to take over this position, I'm more than happy to hand it to them. I really am. If somebody can do better, honestly, I don't have a problem with it. But it's really about action. Our group has to be about action. We got like 700 people in one group and almost 200 in the other. And I don't see as much action as I want to see. And frankly, like I said, when I'm on Facebook, by the way, I can still approve and decline posts. And when I see people and that's all they do, I decline them most of the time. I just decline them. If they don't like it, I want them to ask me why. If they don't ask me why, they just get there and, they get on Facebook and they go, oh, I'll do this. Oh, I like this. Let's give it to them. Let's give them. And it's like I don't want to get more pissed off. I have enough in my life. And if if that's what you're all about, then you need to do that on your own page or some other page or whatever. That's fine. But I got people mad at me, and it really irritated me. I got people mad at me because I was declining some of the posts, especially because they were ones that were marginal for Facebook. And as I called somebody a disgusting pig, and I'm in Facebook jail for a month. Linda's in Facebook jail. Hell, most have been. Carl spends a lot of time in Facebook jail. But so we have to protect the idea of the group is for people to get involved in that stuff. And I noticed that the people that do the most work aren't in there doing that. And that's just it. I don't need to be. I don't need to be enlightened by something. And now it's good. I don't have a problem passing information. I really don't. But if that's all you're doing, and because I've had disagreements with people that tell me, it's like, but I'm doing a lot of good here because I'm telling people stuff. Then go read. Go read with our friend. And by the way, I don't see him doing much either. The person that said, you need to read this, you need to do that. He's an official. He's making his money. He's making good money with the county. Also, one of the people was suing the county. You know who I'm talking about. So actually, if you've sued the county for more money, I mean no offense, but it's really hard to take you serious. You have 3 pages of Facebook grievances. Yeah, and I'll go back to what I said before. Australia, our Australian friend went to sleep, which it's late there. I've been asleep too. But our Australian friend was telling us. I mean, I read the article yesterday where Australia is really getting hard on Facebook and the other ones for for becoming so radical and only allowing certain views. I live in the United States of America. I want to read this. I want to read this exactly as it is. In fact, I think these are things we need to do that nobody talks about. I really do. By the way, 17th Amendment is the one we need to get rid of. That we need to just like with the drinking, we need to get rid of that one. Oh, come on, where is it here? I don't know, simplified. God, is it that hard to find them? Amendment 1. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion, or, this is what we haven't done, prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of people peaceably to assemble and to, you see that? Peaceably assemble. We can't even get by the First Amendment here. And to petition the government for redress of grievances. Did you notice? They never showed the riots in Portland and Seattle. If they did, it was for a few seconds. Damn near every day on the news. What did they show? January 6th. There's people being arrested who were conservatives and they didn't do anything. And then the people from Antifa are getting away with murder. And so that's where we have representatives. Where the hell are they? So I want to read Amendment 1 again because, frankly, I would like Facebook and everybody else to understand what the hell it is. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. It doesn't say in public schools. It doesn't say anything like that. Or bridging the freedom of speech or the press. How, the freedom of the press? How about the indoctrination of the press? Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. If you notice, a comma means, and this is something liberals, it's really interesting. The brilliant liberals who think they're so smart forget what grammar is. A well-regulated militia, comma, being necessary to security of a free state. The right of the people, and there's a comma there, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon... Right now, you know what it's become? If you are a criminal, that's good. They can, if you're a criminal, then they don't want you to do anything with them. Yes, notice it says a free state, not a free country. Yeah. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless a presentment or indictment of a grand jury accepted cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia when in actual service in time of war or danger. Go to another one here. Here's one I really find interesting. Excessive bail should not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments. What the hell happened to that? Well, if you leave your place open during this pandemic, we're going to charge you $10,000 a day by an executive order of something that hasn't been passed. You know, if you notice, executive orders are the way to go now. Ronnie has have to look that up. Oh, here, 10th Amendment. Here you go. The power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states or reserved to the states. You hear that? Reserved to the states. That's where we have to go. We have to go to the states. We have to clean up our own state. When the federal government comes out with an illegal gun law, we look at it and we go, it's not going to happen. Because number one, they're totally disobeying their own constitution, our own constitution. Why in the world should we do that? It's just sad. It's sad. It really is. Missouri County Ordinance, sheriff can arrest feds who enforce gun control. That's because they have Republicans there. In Jefferson County, I'm going to tell my Jefferson County friends, and this is for every county in the state of Missouri, and it should be throughout the nation. We have to work really, really hard. Not sitting back praying. Only praying. Let me say that. Only praying. You can pray all you want, but you have to get off your butts and do something. We need to change the look of every single county in this state. If St. Louis City, who is gone to hell, is going to allow, look, the worst city in the nation, don't you love it? The most murderous city in the nation is St. Louis City. And they want to tell us how to run things? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. Yes, we the people, sovereign states, not individuals. Newton County, Missouri, as follows. All federal acts, laws, orders, rules, and regulations passed by the federal government, and specifically any presidential administration, whether past, present, or future, which infringe on the people's right. You know what's interesting about that? Is if you go in the city and other places, they make up their own laws that are against the Second Amendment and the First Amendment. They make up their own laws. They do that. But if you go strictly by what this is, you go and say, we're not going to go by that, even though the federal government says, the Second Amendment says you can't do certain things. You got cities, Chicago, so many others, that you can't carry a gun. New York, you get all kinds of trouble carrying a gun. Totally against the damn Constitution. That's why when Democrats talk about the Constitution, I just laugh at them and say, you know what the hell the Constitution is. So they pass laws going against the Constitution. This is basically saying we don't care what you people in the federal government are doing. We're going to go by the Constitution. So let me finish this. All federal acts, laws, orders, rules, and regulations passed by the federal government, specifically any presidential administration, whether past, present, or future, which infringe on the people's right to keep and bear arms as guaranteed by the Second Amendment to the United States. In other words, they're going to abide by the Constitution, which the other ones aren't. Shall not be recognized by this county, and specifically rejected by this county, shall be considered null and void and no effect in this county. Every county in Missouri Can you imagine taking this to some of the other counties? I would like to see this. Here you go. We have, let's see, here you go. Let's see what kind of Republicans we really have in every county council. Let's see if they're being honest Republicans. We know most of them aren't. So in the next board, hey, maybe here in Jefferson County, we could do this in other ones. I'll be glad to speak anywhere. In the next board, let's go ahead and say we want to see our county enact the exact same thing they did there. And when they have a vote, let's see what happens. You're right. Never forget the Constitution was ratified to, well, actually, I'm going to add to that, Ronnie. The Bill of Rights was to show the limit of the powers of the Constitution was there, and the Bill of Rights was to limit the power of the Fed, of the Constitution. The Constitution said we're doing this, but it's going to limit it. I mean, would that be more correct? But Elizabeth, we can do that. If you're in, let's do that. Let's. Well, wait a minute. Are they even having? You know what? They are not even having. This is what really sucks too. We are in a mask order, stupid things. But when this stupid mask thing is over, because you got to remember, we got a Democrat running Jefferson County, but we need to go in there and tell our county council that you need to go ahead and pass this amendment. All you have to do is say Jefferson County instead of Newton County. Everything else stays the same. I love it. And we need to do it for all of them. We need to do it for the First Amendment, too. In fact, isn't it, it's Florida. DeSantis is going after Facebook and some of the other platforms. And saying, if you're going to do it here, this is what you got to do. Can you imagine how many people would move to Florida? There already are. Florida's a free state. Florida is more free than a lot of states. And actually, so is Missouri. But unfortunately, in Missouri, I'm telling you right now, people better wake up. Most of the state reps we have in Missouri are not Republicans. They aren't. Well, you're right. That's why the states have said, okay, we're going to do it. And that was exactly what's true. The Bill of Rights in no way could list all of our rights. You're right. But the point was of the Bill of Rights, people, this is all I'm saying. They wrote the Constitution, then they immediately had the Bill of Rights to go with it. Now, what we've done, stupidly, is we've added a bunch of amendments to keep up with the times. That's what we've done. I mean, and they actually, some of the amendments have taken away those rights. I'm going to go through the amendments here. Now, some of them were okay, but the ones I hate the most, 17th Amendment establishes the direct election of senators by popular vote. That's one of the worst ones we have. By the way, I asked Roy Blunt, and he wouldn't answer my question. Because if it was today, well, I don't know. If it was today, and we could go to our legislators and say, we need to call him back now. We need to recall him, and that's what we need to do. Let me see. 18th. Oh, okay. 18th Amendment is the manufacturing and sale of alcohol. That was so ridiculous. It really was. We want government. Here we go. We want government to fix a problem. That's what it is. We want a government to fix a problem. 24th Amendment prohibits the revocation of voting rights due to non-payment of a poll tax or any other tax. I got to be honest with you. I'm not real hot about the 24th Amendment. And let me tell you why. There are a lot of people out there, and these are the social welfare people. In other words, the ones that we work our butts off and we have money stolen from us and we hand it to them and they sit on their butts and do nothing. Not all, but most people on regular welfare are a bunch of lazy asses. That's really what most of them are. Not all of them. And I often wonder, and I've said this, if you have never worked in your life, especially there's some people who have never worked in life. If you have gotten a check, what in the world gives you the right to vote? I'm dead serious. What gives you the right to vote? If you're not a citizen, I say, what gives you the right to vote? You should earn your right to vote. And it's not by a poll tax. That's not what I'm talking about. But you know something? If all of us here are working our butts off and we have these people living off of us, getting a check, we're paying, my relatives, they get a check, they don't do anything, but they still want to vote, and they get to vote for the guy that's going to take care of them. Hey, you vote for me, and I'll make sure you continue to get your check. Is that really right? It's crazy. I mean, here's one for you. Government unions. 28th Amendment should be about government unions. There is no union allowed for government officials because, let's say, for instance, you got a million government union members. They have a government union. So they go out and vote for their guy, for their representative, and he goes in there, or their whatever it is. And by the way, the more people in the government, the more votes they have. So they vote for a bunch of reps, congressmen. They get them elected. And they go in there and they propose legislation and go, hey, these people want to raise. They're only getting this much money. They ought to get it. And there's two things that go on right now that drive me up a wall. What do you think? I have relatives that do not work. Somewhere or another, through the brilliance of the left and the establishment phonies who call themselves Republicans, they get an earned income tax credit. I'm not joking. They get Social Security disability. They get housing. They get utility assistance. They get all this stuff. And then at the beginning of the year, somewhere or another, they don't pay any taxes, obviously. If they do, it's us paying it. But somewhere or another, they file for earned income credit, which is ridiculous. And they get a big fat check. They haven't earned a damn penny, and they get a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 check. I was like, what? I didn't know this. Have we had any Republican? Let's go with what so-called Republicans have done in public office. Okay, I just told you about that one. Have we had a Republican say, this is ridiculous, we have to change this? Of course not. Of course not. Have we had a Republican push for vouchers? Don't you love stupid questions? Of course not. They get out there and they tell you about vouchers all the time. Why in the world are we sending kids to a school district that's dependent on their sewer system or something like that? And that's exactly what some of them are. I've told this story before. Many years ago, my youngest daughter, who was basically homeschooled, we decided to put in school for a little while because we were making adjustments to move back to St. Louis, and we both had, anyway, couldn't be there. So she had a friend that lived 5 houses up, same street, we're in a cul-de-sac. Dead-end street, right? Cul-de-sac. The kid up the street went to Lindbergh School District, And our kid had to go to Melville School District. And we were like, why? And that's when I was told that brilliant answer. It's because of the sewer system. If that doesn't tell you everything about what's going on, I don't know what does. So my question to everybody is, if I want to send my child to a Lutheran school or a parochial school, let's say parochial school or whatever, that money that's allocated to that public school system, say it's $10,000, why can't I take that $10,000 and put that towards my child's education? Why? Please tell me why. Oh, I can't do that. And as some of the people told me, I'll never forget, when I lived in Springfield, I was doing radio down there, and one of the sports coaches said, well, you opted out. Well, can I opt out of my tax money being taken away, stolen from me? You still want me to pay my mortgage, my real estate taxes, the rest of it, so I can send all these other kids to school? When I want to send mine, I got to pay yours, and mine? But that's how liberals think. You got to love that. And I know of schools that close because the people can't afford to pay their real estate and personal property tax, which most of it, by the way, goes to schools, public schools. And then on top of it, they're supposed to pay another $10,000, $20,000 for something else. It's sickening. It is sickening. But that's where we are, because we aren't organized. And we certainly don't demand that the people that we have working for us, they're called politicians, we don't demand they do their job. That's a fact for sure. If you don't do your job, then you get what you deserve. I, for the life of me, don't understand how anyone could just sit back. And I've always wondered this, why? And, where are our legislators? Hell, like I said the other day, somebody's out, we got to have term limits. And I know a lot of people agree with that. And I tell them up front, we have term limits. We have term limits. Yeah, but they keep getting elected. Well, I got some people I would love to keep getting elected because they were really good at what they did, and they fought for me. They did what their job was. But that's different. No, it's not. You want government to do something again that you can't do for yourself? Until we all take total responsibility for what's going on, we have no chance. We really don't. Just like, and I'm going to copy that, Charlie, and I'm going to put it on the website, because I go to it all the time, and I read this, and I'll read it again today, because I think it's the most important thing that every person better know. The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything. So while you're sitting back and you're watching the school districts you're giving the school districts everything they want, you're giving them the indoctrination, you're doing all that stuff. When you are allowing that, you are the problem. Yeah, 72% of your property tax goes towards your school district. And how many children you got in school right now, Ronnie? Isn't it amazing how that works? 72% of your property tax goes for that. Yep. And that's everywhere. That's pretty much everywhere. And then when they get your money, hey, Ronnie, tell you what, you worked at a school district. Out of the money that went to that school district, in your estimation, and please be honest about it. You're always honest. What am I talking about? How much of that money do you think is used correctly? I mean, how much of it? Or you could go the other route. How much is used for bull? If you ran that school district, do you think you could do a much better job We all have old children. I don't like to brag about it. But I just wonder. Because and here's something else with school districts that I would like for people to think about. Why is it that the person who we call a superintendent has to have a teaching degree, has to have been a teacher at one time? If that's the case, then in the private sector, in order for you to be in charge of Chrysler, you had to have been a mechanic at one time. Or something like that. You had to have done something, and some people have. But how many of these people get these high positions? And they do that all the time. By the way, people in corporate America, they'll go into a company and trash it. And then guess what? They'll trash a company, and it goes somewhere else. You remember the day, and by the way, liberals do this all the time. It's funny how we say Republicans are rich, and so obviously it's wrong. How many times have we turned around and I lost my train of thought. I'm reading. I shouldn't be reading at the same time. I can't do that. God, maybe someone remind me. I'm so fed up with this. My point is that we don't do anything with our school districts, and then we wonder why they're so bad. If you really don't pay attention to them, and you keep funding them, you get what you deserve. I mean, it's no different. When you keep sending phonies to represent you, the people you want to that they're supposed to represent you, when you do that, forget it. You are right. Thank you very much. Salary is the biggest expenses. I would cut a bunch of administrative jobs, which are the high end of the pay scale. And if you notice, this is something, Ronnie, you know this one. The administrators, they always think of a way to add another job. Oh, yes, we need to add another job for this or that or this or that. Do you know how many schools have vice principals? Do you know how many schools have all these other positions? And none of them are under $100,000 for most places. Most of them are really good paying jobs. And here's the one that really gets me. Our teachers, here's what they do is they go to low-lying teachers and they go, our teachers make $55,000 a year, and that's just pathetic. Now, they work 9 months out of the year. Okay, of course, if you ask a teacher, every teacher just about will say, I work 5 days a week, I work weekends, I work every night. Which I find so interesting because, when I go to the bar sometimes, I see a lot of teachers there. A lot of teachers. I don't care. But don't try to tell me you're working 24 hours a day because it's bull. Are there some that work 24 hours a day? Nobody, but at the same point, there are some that actually do. And so here's what happens. Okay, so they have a tax increase to support the teachers more. But if you ever notice, let's use even numbers. The teachers get a 3% increase on $50,000. The administrators get a 3% increase or more on $150,000 or $125,000. Why is that? Oh, you know what? That's pretty good compared to I can't tell you how many grade schools I see. They have multiple vice principals, multiple positions of stuff that I'm going, why? Why are they doing this? They keep adding positions. It's stunning. It really is stunning that they do that. Here in the federal government, Dr. Phony Fauci was making more money than the President of the United States. What is wrong with that? Here, you want some other ones? I'll go with some other ones of government waste that people don't know about, but we don't do anything about. In the Jefferson County courthouse, most judges don't show up for work. And guess why? They use the same excuse as the rest of them, COVID. By the way, when I got banned on Facebook, I told you, within 30 seconds to a minute, I got a notice saying that my comment about disgusting pig was against community standards. And then same thing, 30 seconds to a minute later, it said you're out of it for a year. I mean, for a month. You're on Facebook jail for a month. And that was immediate. But there's a way to say, well, I want to contest that. And you know what their answer was? This is where COVID comes in. This is where you people take off those damn masks and stop being so stupid. Immediately, within 5 minutes, we cannot entertain your contention here. I mean, because of the fact that we're understaffed with COVID because of COVID. They use COVID. COVID has become an excuse for everything. You remember the days when you call somebody and you know that the people you talk to really screwed up. They screwed up. They did it. You know it. And what were they blaming on? It's a computer error. Well, after a while, people started saying, what do you mean computer error? It's not a computer error. But they say it was computer error. So let's fast forward. Now it's COVID. Now we can't even go to county council meetings because of COVID. In other words, you can't represent yourself. They don't even bother to open the damn doors for a county council meeting. If I'm not mistaken, and if you're a council member, let me know. But if I'm not mistaken, I think they're all Zoom calls now. And I don't know about you folks. I want to go in there and I want to look them in the eye. And I've done it. And let me tell you, this actually happened to me at one of the meetings. I went to a meeting, and I was really not happy with these DUI stops. You know, at nighttime, all of a sudden, this dopey sheriff we used to have would have all these DUI stops and hold people up for quite a while. It was pathetic. It was commie-like. And I remember I went to a meeting and I was talking about it, and one of the board members was like dismissing me. And I looked at him and I said, "Sir, I'm talking to you too." "Whoa, you don't talk to me like that." So this old fart that was probably 15 years older than me, during the intermission, walks up to me and wants to start a fist fight. I'm not joking. And I looked at him, and I'll be honest, I'd love to have plugged him, but it's a no-win situation. First of all, it was stupid to begin with. But if we did get in a fight and I kicked his ass, then I'd probably go to jail or whatever, even though he started a fight, because I beat up an old man. Of course, if he beat me up, I'd look like an idiot. So either way, I wasn't worried about it. A rifle? Are you kidding me, Carl? A rifle team at a public school? Well, my God, they may learn gun safety. They may learn those things. In fact, why are they not, here's some classes we should have in school. I hope Wendy and Rick and some of the other people are listening. How about a First Amendment? How about a Constitution class? A real Constitution class where we say, yes, let's read the First Amendment. Let's discuss what the First Amendment is really about. It's kind of like history. They don't want you to know about history. They don't want you to know about the Constitution. They don't want you to know any of that stuff. The Second Amendment. Never be afraid of a gun. I do electricity for a living. I have a lighting business. And I deal with live electric all the time. Well, I turn it off sometimes. I do. Now, I tell anybody, if you don't know what you're doing, turn it off. I do turn it off when I know the danger is above a certain level. Not a problem. But many times I leave it on. I don't need to turn it off. It's not necessary. The reason I bring it up is because anyone that doesn't know much about it should keep their hands off of it, and that's it. I think everybody should learn to respect it. Now, I know people, I go to places and they go, hey, look, I don't know enough about it. I respect it enough not to touch it. We should be teaching our kids that stuff. If you have a gun, you teach your kid about the gun. But they want to teach them about sex class. They want to teach them about all these other things. Why aren't we teaching about the Constitution? Why aren't we teaching the Second Amendment? Why do we have rifle classes and teach the kids about them? Oh, they'll be a better shot. No, you know what? They'll find out they can get shot too. Do you know when I became a cop, I had never really touched a handgun in my life. Not really. And I was in my 30s. I just never messed with guns. I'm still not a gun guy, but I have guns now. But I remember being in class, nervous as anything, because I knew so little about it. But I knew I had to carry a weapon. And I was so nervous. I put the bullets in. I mean, I'm probably sweating at the same time. But I finally got over it. I learned how to use it. I learned everything about it. And that's what it should be about. I learned to respect it. But we don't do that. We want people just to be afraid of them. You should never be afraid of electric. You should respect electric. You should never be afraid of guns. You should respect guns. You should never, the only thing you should be afraid of is somebody killing you, I guess. Yeah. Trigger finger off until target ready to fire. Yeah, don't be a Barney Fife. In fact, that's a good one. Let's play Barney Fife. He's over there and he's got his finger on the gun. He does all kinds of stuff. Bang, he shoots somebody. That's what he does. Unbelievable. Ozark Junior ROTC has rifle teams and military drill teams where males and females can compete evenly. That's because you're down in southwest Missouri, up in St. Louis. And I know this because I grew up in St. Louis City. People don't have guns. Most people are afraid of guns. But the one thing, when this comes to Second Amendment and gun control and all that stuff, and blows me away, and I've said this a million times, is why in the world would we want to take any way of a person protecting himself? The purpose of a gun in the Second Amendment is not for shooting people, not for shooting targets or animals. The purpose of a gun in the Second Amendment is to protect yourself, because the founders were smart enough to know that the best way to protect yourself is to protect yourself. It's that easy. Bit of history. Ozark JRC is the only school in the nation that had 2 national championships in the same year for rifle and drill. And you know why and ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching the show right now, the reason is because that man right there, Ronnie White, is one of the most dedicated people I've ever met in my life. Just as jolly as can be. One of the nicest people I know. I'm lucky to know a lot of nice constitutional people. I really am. And you know what? Ronnie and some of the other guys, they can't handle freedom. There's so many people out there that are afraid and they can't handle freedom. They want everything to be regulated. I don't like most regulations. I understand a few, very few. But I don't like most regulations. I don't. I really don't. And it's scary for me. that when everything we do, even in state government, this is why it's so important. You ever notice they always add laws, but they don't take any off? Yeah, they don't take laws off. They just keep adding them. And everybody wants to add a law. Oh God, yes. I did a show when I was in Springfield called "There Ought to Be a Law," and we ought to do it here too. You tell me what the law ought to be, and I'll have fun with it. You know what? That's about the only thing Billy can do is add you in the congressional record. Because I would bet you $1 million you would agree with me on that one. Plus, you'd agree that he's probably one of the most useless congressmen that you have in there. You cannot feel like you're being represented in Southwest Missouri. If you are, I'd be stunned. I mean, I know Billy quite well. By the way, in case you're wondering, we're talking about Billy Long, who is the congressman in, 7th District? Anyway, he was, I remember doing radio with him, and he had no clue about politics, and he ran for office, and he won because he was popular. Because people, hey, wait a minute, Republicans don't care about, they all talk about how they care about the Constitution and all that stuff. How about sending someone there that knew what the hell it was? That's what it amounts to, but we don't do that anymore. We don't do that. So, well, anyway. Well, let me see. What we got? 9:05. We'll do a few more minutes and we'll get out of here. You know what? I have said, I don't think all of us should, but I understand why you say it. That's under discussion. I'll tell you what should, name recognition. I'll tell you what should sunset, at least for a year. Every bond issue out there should sunset. There should never ever be, and by the way, do you ever see any of your reps bring this up? There are a bunch of them that I want done. I'll name two of them right now. One of them is that any bond issue, okay, you have a school district, they have to add buildings, you got a big influx, your present tax code won't catch up, fine. Let's have a bond issue. We're going to build more schools to accommodate that. But after this period of time, we'll have everything in place, it's paid for, and then we'll have the money coming in from the economic activity from all the things going on. That's how it should be. And after that sunsets of 5 years, whatever it is, whatever the bonds are, that you have to wait at least another year before you bring up a new bond issue. Because what they do is they say, if you vote for this, your taxes will not go up. And 90% of the voters go in there and go, I'll vote for it. I don't want my tax to go up. They give it to you like it's free. I've never heard, have you? I've never heard anyone pushing that. Say, if we vote for it, your taxes won't go up. But if you're happy with the way it is, and you don't want to vote for it, your taxes will go down. Of course not. That'll never happen. Let's talk about unity. So the school districts do everything they can. This is how easy it is. The school district do everything they can. They spend your money foolishly. They give all their people money. That's why so many run for the school board. They spend all their money, and then us non-unified Republicans, because the Republican Party doesn't care about it, hey, they're in on it. Since we're not unified, they get everything they want. And that's our problem. Well, yeah, exactly. Every time. No tax increase. No tax increase. Wow. And you're thinking, how did they do that? By fooling you. By telling you there's no tax increase. And to some extent, that much, they're right. But what they're not telling you, though, is it goes down. Now, if we have a unified group where we have the money, and this is where it comes in. See, when you people are so stupid, sorry, And you say, well, I'm not going to put $10, $20 a month into that. We can't fight that. And so what happens in the long run? They raise your taxes. One way or another, you're going to pay. And once people learn how this really works, by the way, do they teach that in political science class? Of course not. Political science is run by liberals. Everybody has to know that. It's run by liberals, and they are not going to teach anything that's going to stop the liberal agenda from going. That's it. It's sickening to watch. It really is sickening to watch. So there you go. There was something else I was going to say. I'm trying to remember what it is, but I don't care. I had to go on that. So for everybody that, and by the way, I want people to understand the hope we have here. By the way, RealRepublicans.com. It's on the. Oh, I didn't have it on there. Why didn't I? Let me see. Oh, let me see here. I left it. I lost it there. Anyway, I'll have it there. I'll have it there tomorrow. There it is. There it is. I pressed the wrong one there. Anyway. All right. Well, anyway, you're learning a lot today. Well, Elizabeth, I could teach you a lot about this, but I don't know everything. See, that's just it. Now, as time goes on, because I hear this from Wendy, she goes, I don't know that much. I said, you know a hell of a lot more today than you did back then. But you know what, Elizabeth? Isn't it sad you have to wait until the age you are? I don't know how old you are. None of my business. Isn't it sad you have to wait so long to learn this stuff? Don't you think this is something? I mean, I would love. Now, by the way, I'm not qualified to teach at a school because I don't have a teaching certificate. I guarantee you I could teach anything. I could teach math better than most math people because I was a math whiz. But when it comes to this, I could teach them. I put the curriculum. I could do all that stuff very easily. You don't have. You're a woman that tells your age. Oh wow. Well, that's why. You know what? That's why I call this political science class. So maybe what we ought to do is we ought to push the school districts, and I'll do a 45-minute political science class. And here you go. Here, let's see how good these school districts are. Let's go to them and say, we have an offer here, and it won't cost you anything. And the kids can tune into the Super Dave political science class, and he will spend 45 minutes twice a week teaching them what politics is really all about. Wouldn't it be great? That's okay. You know, Elizabeth, I don't have a problem with that. You know, I look, there comes a point, and this is it. You're one of the few Trump voters who are actually doing something. That's why I get on the other ones. But as time goes on, you will learn more from this show than anything else because a lot of the other ones are just they're reading headlines. And if you notice, I read some headlines, but I read the headlines and I try to interpret what is really going on because most of the headlines are bunk anyway. Most of the headlines are, not all of them, some of them are really good, and I learn from a lot of them, but I also like to take what I know and teach that. That's what I try to do. So thank you. I appreciate that. You're learning more today in a while. Well, good. And we'll do this all the time. That's the whole point. And don't ever be afraid to ask a question. Because if I don't know the answer, and this is something I learned as a business owner, as a smart, well, somewhat smart human being, if I don't know the answer, I will go find it. Or I'll find somebody that does know. But if you think I will tell you one thing, the experts, honest to God, don't know. Seriously, the experts, in fact, I did a show on it one time where it was a list of all the things the experts told us are going to happen, and virtually none of them happened. So here we have, you're a Trumpster, we're all Trumpsters. Here we have, well, I love that. I mean, that's what it should be. You know, that's what class should be. That's actually when we do Real Republicans, I enjoy answering questions. If I don't know, I'll have somebody that may know. And if I don't know, I'll find out. That's really what it's all about. But, we learn, the thing is we learn from each other. And if I'm wrong, I have no problem with somebody calling me out and vice versa. And we can't, if you're really intelligent human beings should be able to go back and forth and do that and say, oh, I didn't know that. And not be ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of things I don't know because I know more than a lot of people in certain areas. But when it comes to certain things, I really am not familiar with it. I just don't do it. I don't go there, and I will tell you, I don't know, but I'll find out. Or I'll get somebody that knows a lot more than me. That's how it works. So, all right, my friends, I think we're done for one day. If anything special comes up, I'll be back before then. But otherwise, I'll see you next Monday. I do have a business to run, as I tell everybody. And by the way, if you do have a business and you have lighting issues, I'm the guy. I know almost as much about that as I do politics. How's that? And I'll be honest, I'm damn good at what I do. I enjoy it. You know what? I don't say it often. I'm 67. I enjoy going out there doing things. I really do. And I have a great day. So, all right, everybody, you have a great weekend. And if I see you before then, great. If I don't, then I will see you on Monday. Have a great day.
You can't quit.
And why not? I get fired.
You can't fire him.
Why not?
He quit.
Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
Sherman, forget it, he's rolling.
It ain't over now. Because when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Who's with me? Let's go! Come on!
Thanks. I needed that.